Hello everybody and welcome to this episode of Let's Build Up Newcrest. Today we're going to be working on a little Greek revival style home, and yeah, there's no accompanying let's play with this or any in-game footage because this is just working on the house. It's a single story sort of home. I think it's a Greek revival. I'm not quite sure. And this one is meant for a couple of wealthier residents in Newcrest. And yes, I am planning on creating those two individuals later today. And by the time this goes up, that will probably be tomorrow. So yes, every Thursday I do a live stream at 5 p.m. or I'm trying to do that every Thursday. And it's a lot of fun. So this house is quite a bit different from some of the other houses. I hope it fits in with the neighborhood, but this, even though it's small, I meant for it to very much be a part of the neighborhood and look like it's a lot richer sort of house. This house ended up costing upwards of $30,000, and that is because I just furnished it very nicely. It's supposed to be sort of a mini estate, and I originally had planned for it to have another garden, but I didn't want to do another garden because there were so many gardens out here. Next house will be the last farmhouse, and that can have another garden. This one is just gonna have some plants and some trees. Another way in which this house is different is that it is the only brick house in this neighborhood, or section of the neighborhood. This is Bridgeview, I believe, since it's close to the bridge. So there's a lot of shrubs, a lot of very viney foliage and things like that. I originally thought about doing a gate around the house and a little fence, but I decided against it because it looked too nice and finished. I didn't want a house that was finished looking. Finished isn't the word. I didn't want a house that was super alive looking. This is supposed to be Newport. Not Newport. I don't know why I keep calling it Newport. And like, I did this a couple episodes too. It's Newcrest, not Newport. I think Newport sounds better to me. It sounds better to me than Newcrest. And I don't know why. What was I saying before this? So yeah, I didn't want this house to look too nice. Everything's supposed to be a bit run down here in Newcrest. So yeah. Maybe when the expansion that's coming out comes out, I can go in there and try to destroy everything there and then rebuild it similarly to Newcrest, but I don't know. Because it looks like it's gonna be a little bit more rustic, and honestly, Forgotten Hollow is way too small to be doing this type of grand project. Although it could have worked in the Supernatural expansion of The Sims 3 or Midnight Hollow, I think it was called. Yeah, that would have been really cool. Maybe one day I'll redo the challenge in other ways. But you know, I really have to get this one finished first. I've got to finish things here. And, you know, I'm sorry for tooting my own horn and stuff like that, but for me to even get this far and stick this long with a project is really good. I need to continue to stick with this project and at least get to the point where this map is completely playable. And I think I will be putting up all of the houses then. I'll try to get rid of the typewriters before I do that, because that's custom content and I don't really want to like put custom content in there, because then it makes it hard for you to play it if you don't have everything. So yeah. I'm doing more of those weeds things, and all of you are just sick and tired, like, oh god, those weeds. Not those weeds again. Why do you always do that? I don't know. It looks okay. I like the way it looks. Put a couple of pine trees there. That's the thing about Newcrest, it's just so generic. I wish it was darker and creepier. But yeah, so there would have to be a lot of really basic, really not basic, deep changes, I guess. This house, yeah, it's tiny, but there's a lot of stuff in it. I probably put way too much stuff in it. There's not a lot of space, but it wasn't ever intended to have a whole lot of Sims in there. It's just for a couple, the bishops, and yeah, just for the bishop family. Trying to get the bookshelves into the exact correct place. So, and it kind of, I mean, that was the thing. It either blended or merged into the wall, or it merged into the fireplace. So I chose the fireplace. Well, you know, for now. Afterwards, after I do the bathroom, I kind of give it a little bit more space. But yeah, it doesn't look right unless it's really close to the fireplace, because otherwise there's this gap, and little gaps like that kind of bug me less than clipping does, for whatever reason. I didn't say that made sense, because it doesn't really make sense. Yes, and this is the only house to have a dishwasher. You know why I put a dishwasher in? Because your Sims will beg for it all the time, and they won't stop unless you buy one, and I hate buying one, but there at least I can hide it behind this counter, so it's kind of disguised. They're like, oh, we need a dishwasher. You guys do not need a dishwasher. You're the dishwasher. That's who the dishwasher is. People had plates before the dishwashers were invented. You can use a plate. You can wash a plate. The Sims, man. Sometimes they make your life difficult. I was getting into this really interesting discussion on the Sims 4 forums. Again, mentioning that there's also a link in the description to the challenge that's also on those forums, so you can take a look at that if you're so inclined, because that contains extra information and all that good stuff, and extra stories and backstories for people. So I highly recommend checking that out. Anyway, interesting discussion on the forums about whims. How they, in this game, they just don't seem to be as significant as they were in previous games. They're just, everybody has the same wishes, and I've encountered that too, because every Sim wants to know more about vampires. It can't just be a Sim who's interested in vampires or who is a vampire. Every Sim, like, This one says it's not from not being a vampire. This one says it's from being a vampire. Just, no. Not everybody's gonna have the same interest game. Not everybody is. So yeah, I wish they were tied more closely to your Sims traits. There's a lot of things that I miss about The Sims 3, but overall, The Sims 4 is a lot easier to load, so, I mean, I shouldn't say that. There are things I really like about The Sims 4. I like how there's a lot of, you can have multiple lifetime wishes, for example. I like that. I mean, it sort of lessens the value of them, and it, like, switching, I don't think switching should be as easy, even though I do switch all the time. I know, because I'm a total hypocrite. But yeah, it just having lifetime, or aspirations be more special and having a larger variety of them would be so cool. Because you can only make so many Sims before you run into the same, having to choose the same ones. It's just, ugh. I miss the gold digger aspiration. I miss the career aspirations. I just miss a lot of them. Anyway, here's the part where I get rid of a lot of, I don't know, I placed down a lot of extra plants, and I was trying to figure out, should I have this patch of rampant weeds? And then I thought, no, because it doesn't match, that grass doesn't match the rest of the grass, and it looks kind of dumb, and it would probably be a pain in the butt to load all of those pieces of grass if I made the entire lot like that. Not that, just probably be totally laggy, and I would not want that, so I had to tone it down. Yes, and time to wrap things up. So if you liked or enjoyed this video, and if you would like to see more, please don't forget to leave a like or a comment down below. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you guys will stick around for the next time. Bye! Gotta have a bird bath. You just gotta. See? Pretty.